that other thing you was talking about before?
What was what?
I think it was the. I think it was a fuck it switch.
Oh yeah, yeah. So for context, I was watching this video about like stunt people. They were basically reacting to other stunts that happens in movies, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the things the person said was, "There's a moment between." Actually, I saw this as like more of a metaphor in it, like in life. He said, "There's a space between thinking about doing something and actually doing it," and I like to call it the fuck it space. Like you ever like on a more practical way level, like you ever about to do bungee jumping or about to do something kind of scary, and you're thinking about it, and then there's a space just before you do it. It's like a millisecond where you just say fuck it. You let go of every fear, every overthinking thing or anything. You just let go of everything and just go do it. I don't know if like anyone can relate on that, but that's something like on my experience, like, every time I do something scary, there's always a space just before I do it where I say fuck it, I just like let go and I jump or whatever. And I see
it's about letting go.
Yeah.
Just letting go of everything and not being scared to, or not having any like voices in our heads or in my head thinking what is someone gonna think, what is someone gonna say on that, or just letting go of everything and just doing it, just going for it.
But that's the thing. That's the power of overthinking, isn't it? Like I'm trying to think. Maybe overthinking is valuable. Maybe we should overthink. Maybe we should promote overthinking because there might actually be value in that.
But then I think everything's valuable in that term because like it's not about the thing. It's about how do we utilize what it is, like how do we utilize overthinking, you know, how do we find value in it? Do you believe in like yin and yang, like just like there's always pros and cons to everything?
100%, yeah. There's always a good and a bad and a bad and a good all times. But I guess I kind of agree with, like there's always like as long as you like is that my favorite metaphor, too many apples gives you diabetes. Too much of a good thing equals to a bad thing, and too much of a bad thing, I don't know if that equals to a good thing.
But then is the good thing always the good thing? You know, like it's
a matter of perspective, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's how you what because again, Hitler saw killing Jews as a good thing. Do you think it's a good thing? Do I think it's a good thing? I can disagree. But then again, it's like I don't know how his mindset was. I don't know.
So
maybe he was a visionary.
Good and bad is subjective, then really.
Yeah, maybe he was a visionary and he saw something that we couldn't see, and it's like someone said on a pod recently. I listened to recently. I understand why there's preachers or there's there's people in the streets that come up to you and say, "Oh, do you want to talk about your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?" and whatever. It's like, yeah, if I knew the if I knew the formula to have to go into paradise, of course I'll tell everyone. You feel me? Like if you had like one dream or like you had whatever an experience that isn't believable, but you had it, and in that experience, someone is now able to tell you the meaning of life, whatever, and you're not going to go around and say, "Oh yeah, can I talk to you about this, that?" I actually had a preacher, not a preacher, I don't know what they're called when they come to you randomly. This person didn't look like he was working anything. I was at the train station, minding my business, and the brother came up to me and started talking to me about my perspective on religion and stuff like that. And I'm assuming he was Christian, by the way he was talking and whatnot, and obviously what he said. But
what did he say? Well, why did it make you assume that?
No, like I think he said that he grew up in a Christian household and whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like literally what he said. But it gets me thinking. Like, I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, what do you gain from this? Because sometimes people do things for selfless reasons. But why? Because straight off the bat, I don't know you, so I'm not gonna respond to you in a, "Oh yeah, cool. Let me tell you about my life story." And I'm just like, one-worded answers, keep it stepping. And more time, like I assumed that he was gonna just keep the way I was answering his questions and talking to him. I assumed he was gonna keep it walking.
Like he was giving him like dead answers and just.
But he just kept going. He just didn't stop. He just kept asking questions, and because he saw me with my gimbal, he asked me, "So what do you do? What's your thing?" And then.
So do you think that come from a place of like he wasn't giving up, or did that come from a place of like ignorance, like he didn't know how to read the situation?
That's a good question. It wasn't the question I was going through my mind at the time, but now that I look back at it, I'm trying to think: is it a thing of? I don't know. I think you can tell. I think by the way, like his mannerisms answered certain questions or what kind of person he is, by the way he is. So I assumed I can tell he understands that. Yeah, I'm not trying to have this conversation with you.
Yeah.
Very minimal eye contact. very quick answers.
But maybe that's something also that's giving him a bit more drive to kind of like, maybe he's the type of person, and this is just me making assumptions. I don't even know who this guy is. The water's there, by the way. It's on your right. Maybe he's the type of person that's like, you know, like some people like a challenge, right? So he saw you as a challenge. He saw like, you know what, just because you're not really trying to have this conversation, I'm actually going to be even more stubborn and try convince you or tell you certain things and stuff.
But then again, if I taught you how to take photos, for example, every time you mess up, every time you took a bad photo, banging in your face, are you going to enjoy photography?
That's lit. I would love it.
Yeah, you're Eastern European, of course. You're film. No, but like it's like
no, I'm playing.
Yeah, it's like if he's trying to teach me about the way of life and Christianity, do you think pissing me off and being?
But it didn't punch him in the face though.
No, but metaphorically,
I know, but that's the thing.
He was inconveniencing me. He was bothering me. He was like, I'll just finish.
But then you have to ask yourself, like, what's the, you know, like, what is he gaining from that? You know,
that's what I'm thinking. So that's what goes back to the thing of like, if I knew the meaning of life, wouldn't I go around and tell everyone? Maybe he just wanted to share some type of epiphany, and maybe the concept of someone not wanting to go to heaven is such a foreign concept to him.
You know what I'm more curious about? Yeah, I'm more curious about what would have happened if you actually, like, if you were receptive towards him and you've done everything he was asking you to do. Like, that would be fascinating.
I can either be in Pastor Toby's church going in 5k debt, or in a
how do you know, it might not be 5k debt, it might be
20.
You might become a business owner. But you know it's just, it's really like interesting. It's like how many I'm not saying that's a real opportunity, right? Like I'm not going to use this as a real opportunity.
It could be.
But how many times do we actually come across opportunities, or like people would come to us with certain things and stuff, and how many times do we actually like think that this is a waste of time and we don't go with it? I think that happens quite often.
It's the concept of branch realities.
Yeah.
I keep talking about it because it's such a fascinating concept of the way of life to me. Branch realities. When you have a branch or a tree branch, there's always extra branches that grow off that branch, and that's basically decisions that we make in life. Maybe there's an alternative universe where I said, you know what, let me be receptive. I was less tired. I didn't come back from a shoot. He approached me at a certain time where I was in a good mood or something, and then now I'm mad receptive. But then, even then, it could either be a situation where I just mess myself up and now I'm in wherever debt or wherever, or I'm in a good position where I eventually become someone who's like both religious and now I'm in his shoes doing the exact same he did to me to someone else. Remember, it's like exactly where we work with youth work. Essentially, he was doing youth work. It's a different type. Because now look at me. I'm not talking to young people, doing exactly what you did to me when I was younger. What if I was less receptive to you? Would I be in this position? You gave me an opportunity, same way he's trying to give me an opportunity. His one is more religious, and I've already had that epiphany about religion and whatnot.
But bro, I've got an email from some Prince Charles or something saying that, you know, if I send him like £200, like he's gonna like,
that's how you do it, man.
He's gonna like in a year's time he's gonna give me like 100 million, you know,
investment,
like bro. And I said no.
Term.
Imagine I said no.
Imagine you said yes.
But imagine I said no.
Did you say no?
Bro, you know how many have you not seen those scammers that just send you a bunch of emails saying I'm Prince from this country? Don't you get those?
Nigerian Prince 6419.
Yeah, and do you know what? I used to get them on my Hotmail.
I get them on
email.
my I don't get that one. I get the H what's it the
tax ones, the HM revenues and that.
I get very excited. Thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a couple.
Bro, but there's so many different scams, you know. But it has to be working for people to do it. It has to be working.
No, is that element of if I shoot 100 times, eventually one's gonna go on the goal. It's like when people message girls or famous people, whatever, innit? They're gonna message 100.
No, of course. But what I'm trying to say, but it has to be working with someone, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like someone's investing time into creating a scam, and if it's not profitable, then what's the point of doing it? Have you ever been scammed before?
I think you know the story as well.
Is it a phone thing?
Yeah.
What you want to share it?
I'm sharing. I'm not gonna say who I was with because the person who I was with is embarrassed to like. I embrace it. I fucked up. I embrace it. Cool story time.
Nah, this one's funny.
So I'm walking with my brethren. We went Holland Barrett, couple shopping shit, whatever.
In Woolwich.
Oh, we're doing locations now.
Yeah, Woolwich, like you don't live there.
Yeah.
So-
Woolwich Arsenal. I started giving out postcodes as well.
Yeah, might as well.
So some guy approached us saying I'm selling iPhones and iPads and Apple products.
Mm.
And at the time, vulnerable, gullible, naive, 18. I think my brethren wasn't trying to give him attention, but I think I did. Either I did or did I give him attention?
This is funny, yeah, because now I understand why when a guy came to preach to you, yeah, you thought this guy was about to scam you.
You understand? See, it's pattern recognition. So yeah, the guy approached us saying we sent our products, whatever, yada yada. And he said that, yeah, cool. The stuff in my car, come with me. I'll show you the stuff, whatever. Again, I generally don't know if it was me or the guy I was with who gave him attention. I think it might have been him. I think I was trying to walk away. Either that or it was vice versa. Regardless, we both lost our peas. So we went to the car, saw the products. We had to sit inside the car because he didn't want us to run away. You feel me? It's like that thing of, I don't know if you're scamming me or I'm scamming you.
Yeah.
Because there was actual, like, it was the box. There was an iMac and there was a MacBook. Sorry, there was an iPhone. I went through it, used it. It was legit.
Yeah.
Check the serial number, check all this, whatever. It was legit. I knew it was legit. So he said that he was gonna sell us, I feel like an iPhone 10, a MacBook, and some iPad or whatever for like £600. No, either £600 or £400, something like that. We didn't have cash. Sorry, we didn't have cash on us. We went to cash machine with him. He put the stuff in the bag. That's when we knew he fucked up. He put the products in the bag, and we went with him to the cash machine. We pulled out £400, £200 each. We took the bag. We actually called someone else as well. We called a third party, a brethren of ours, to come and just witness the whole thing. So we took the bag. It's like when I was given the money, they were a bit more like, "Oh, should we go? We got," and then grabbed it, jumped in the car, ran away. Argos books.
You got some MacBooks.
We got some Argos books.
You got some books, MacBooks.
The guy who was with, the third guy, he started sprinting over the car. Boot was fully open. Got like both doors open, boot open. The guy was pedal on the metal.
It just you didn't even do it on a smooth one. It just said, you know what?
And then he's out.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Then,
Is that the only time you've been scammed?
Potentially, yeah. I think it is. You know.
Yeah.
I think yeah. And the worst part is I didn't get my money back, but my brethren did. He managed to do some finessing of the banks that he was with, and yada yada. He got his money back.
Yeah.
I was two bills short. Obviously, I firmed it, and kept it moving. And it was mad because that was meant to be a lit day, because that was a day. It was like we got paid like a week before, like a couple of days before. We started going nuts, went shopping.
That was a lit day though.
Yeah,
you've learned you got a lesson for a lifetime. That's a lit day. And
the stuff I bought, I came home with, minus the Argos books, minus the Apple products, but like I bought a lot of like at the time I was a fitness freak.
Yeah.
So I bought like a bunch of protein stuff, whatever. And it was so crazy. That day, that wasn't the craziest thing that happened that day. Because later that day we went into work, spent some time in the office, and a young person came. It was on the weekend, so a young person came, knocked on the door, crying, bawling. And he was bawling because he spent like 5 bills on Steam on his mum's credit card. And like his mum said, "Oh, you ruined Christmas," because it's about Christmas time. You ruined Christmas, and he was bawling out. And it's like everything that happened, just the next thing that happened was like more crazy. Like that wasn't the worst part. But
you know what's funny? Like no one's really gonna care about that in the future. Like people are just gonna like look.
But it's in the moment, isn't it? You're in the moment.
No, of course. But that's the thing. But it's like what kind of metrics are people using to punish themselves? And a lot of the time it's money. Like money is just so like, it just feels like if people lose money, it's no one's born with money. And I'm not talking about like people that are born into rich families and they get heritage passed on and stuff. But really and truly, like from people that I know, from myself, it's just like I wasn't born with money. So anything that I made in my lifetime, I can make that again. Like whatever I lose, I can make it again.
It's understanding what's valuable to you.
Yeah, because I've never had it in first place anyways, and money's there to be made anyways in first place. Like that's the whole point. It's about investing time into something where it can produce some kind of value for someone else that someone else can pay for. And there's this whole other thing where like I'm looking into now. It's like having money work for you, you know, instead of working for money.
You read Rich Dad Poor Dad, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what.
I haven't read it, but I know for a fact
that's what I'm on now. Yeah, that's what it talks about. In that
There's one thing I wanted to ask based on what you said. So I'm in love with being someone who just is always in the moment. Whatever I do in here and now. I don't think about future. I don't think about past. I mean, I learn from the past, and I just don't think about future.
Yeah.
But where's the perfect balance between being in the moment and thinking about the future?
I think
it's hard, isn't it? Because like you want to always be in the moment. You don't always want to focus on tomorrow.
You know what? There is no perfect balance, but it's not about being in the future. It's about having a vision. It's about having a vision, a purpose, and potentially some goals. Because some people do goals, some people don't do goals. But vision, purpose, and goals, and then just doing and basically being aware of that. Because I'm not living in the future if I have those, right? Those are just like things I want to achieve, right? They're not my future. They're things I want to get to. Yeah. So once I have those, then I can always look at how do I make the most out of my present moment to get closer to where I want to get to, rather than thinking about the future.
Do you believe in suffering now to live a better life later?
I wouldn't say I believe in it because.
Do you think it works?
Because I think it works, but I think the statement "believe" is like it's a mad statement. But I think I think it definitely works and the reason it works is because it's like me sacrificing something means I'm gaining something. And I think we spoke about this. Was it with Steve? In Steve's episode, there was a thing of like maybe it wasn't, but it's like, no, actually, this was something else. It's like, what am I gaining by not doing something? What am I gaining by doing something? It's like, what's the gain behind, like, for example, if I'm not going on a weekend, I'm also gaining at the same time.
Is that what's the value of your action, isn't it?
Yeah, for example, like if I don't go out on Saturday or Sunday, whatever, or Friday, Saturday, I'll stop going out. By the way, just as a disclaimer.
For now.
So
for now,
you know, for a while actually, I think for a while. But
no, every time you say that, I always believe you. Despite the fact that you always say it and then you don't do it, I'm always gonna believe you.
No, I'm saying I stopped for a while, but I was telling you before I'm gonna stop for a while, anyways. And I might even start. To be honest, like the goal is to stop.
And I believe you. If you say right now you're gonna stop forever, I'm gonna believe you. I know you're gonna.
I'm not saying I'm gonna stop forever. I'm saying I stopped for a while.
Yeah.
But then potentially the goal is to stop forever. But anyway, so the point. Let's get back to the point.
Yeah.
So the point is, it's like if I'm not going out on a Friday or Saturday, I'm also gaining. I'm gaining time that I can spend on something else. You know, so
the space will always be filled, isn't it?
Yeah. So not doing something, there's a gain for it. It's like what's exactly space needs to be filled, and space is time basically. So it's like what I'm gonna put within that space that I have every single day, every single moment, every single second.
You always have to fill it with something, and you're better filling it with something valuable.
Exactly. You know what? Slightly different question. Maybe it is a little bit related.
I have slightly different questions. I've had stuff on.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you this first. Yeah.
Go on.
Do you ever feel like you're in a battle with yourself? Yeah. And let me put some context to it, because everyone can say like I'm battling myself every day.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're in a battle with yourself, but there's two different versions of you? And what I mean by that, one version is you've been conditioned to be a certain type of way by society and what you've learned. And the second version is you like who you really are as a person, who you truly are, what your values are, what your purpose is. And then it's kind of like, and then you might be switching in between the two at certain times. So
I think me personally, I think I wouldn't say mixed personalities, but I do have two different persons.
But do you ever like catch yourself being those two different people? Like one is that, you know, that the person you've been conditioned to become by learning what's around you, and the other one is like being who you really are. Do you ever catch yourself?
I think the best example. I think the best example is in social media.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might post something on my Instagram story, and being a prisoner to the moment, and I might post it to get some attention, whatever. And then like an hour later, I look back and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, man? And I delete it because essentially you're being a prisoner to the moment, right? You're also being a prisoner to like whatever emotion you're feeling in the moment. You want that whatever you're feeling, whatever craving you're having. Sorry. Yeah. So an example being attention, you do whatever is possible. I have this. Well, I get this all the time. Like every now and again, like 1 a.m. in the morning, I'm walking home from somewhere and I might feel like a bit lonely. Whatever. So I start going through Instagram, following random girls, thinking, yeah, let me get some attention. By the time I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? All this shit. And I was like, I'm following everyone, thinking. I mean, And yeah, sometimes I catch it midway through, but more time I catch it when it's too late, or once they've, oh shit, he's following me, whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess it's all about being a present to the moment and satisfying certain needs in certain moments.
That's interesting.
Sometimes you want attention, sometimes you want.
But that's the thing. But the question also is like, is it what you want, or is it what you've been conditioned to want at that time?
Your person is based around your surroundings and your environment, right? So who you are is based on what's around you. So if I'm surrounded by people who constantly want money or female attention or this, I'm gonna eventually want that as well. Unless I.
But then is there another person within you that's like,
there's always two
that goes you know what, that's not actually, like, I don't believe in that.
I think that's like on that, you know, the whole thing you sent me about how everyone's got male and a certain percentage of male and female energy in them. I think that same thing applies to this. Everyone has a certain percentage of them that's based on their environment, and then they have their true self, and it's like the percentage of which one takes over more. Sometimes it's like, for me, I like to think that I'm more 70% me and then 30% environment, or even maybe less. But it's like, as much as that, there's less of this and more of this, some of it always eventually breaks out, right? So eventually, sometimes I might want attention or whatever, and sometimes I might want these things that my environment craves. But most of the time, I love to think that most of the time I'm true to myself. I ignore these temporary cravings for more valuable stuff. I do stuff for myself. I could shout someone to go cinema with me, or I can go alone and gain that value by myself, because I generally enjoy it. You feel me? So it's just that percentage of like how, like, which one are you more of? You're always gonna have both. It's never gonna be 100% zero. It might be 99.1. I think certain people are 99.1. Something like that. Jordan Peterson and Gary Vee and all these amazing people. But most of us are always something. It's always a percentage of each one. We always have to have both. Because again, you're built around your surroundings. Your environment creates you. Like you said, if I went to an igloo, someone who lives in an igloo, and gave them £1 million, they won't be happy because they have £1 million. They'll be happy because they got new toilet paper to clean their ass with. You feel me? That's what they value. They don't live in an environment that values the queen, or a piece of plastic or paper or whatever. You are a result of your environment. Yeah,
that's interesting. What other questions do you have?
Do you want to say your perspective on what you just said?
My perspective on that.
I'm interested to hear that.
I think the question comes from, like, so I've been catching myself in different type of moments recently, because I would say I'm like, my awareness is decent. You know, I'm just being humble. Like, I'm quite aware as a person. I'm trying to be a bit more, like, you know, just because I'm usually too humble with myself. But so because I have a certain level of awareness, I've realized that I catch myself in different moments where, like, I realize I'm doing certain things because I've learned certain behaviors or certain things to do, like, you know, like, let's say, like, social media, posting certain things on social media, or doing other things like going out, whatever. That's not something that I wanted to do, or that's not something that's true to me. It's something I've learned. It's a behavior I've learned over time. And
environment again is
so then I realized, and then other times, like, for example, let me give an example, right? Let's say there's a skateboarder who's rolling down the street, and then he trips and he falls over. Like, I think my condition from, like, the society condition side would be laughing at him or her. I think that'll be my, maybe, like, the first reaction. But my true self, I know what my true self is. My true self is empathetic, so I would actually emphasize and I guess where I started making differences, I started doing, like, and I'm gonna call this, like, the right thing, like, in difficult situations where the easiest thing to do is to go to the response which I'm conditioned to have, which is, like, laugh at him or her. Where now I'll just be like, you know what, I actually really feel for this person, and then maybe even talk to the person that's laughing at that person and say, like, yo, like, you know, like, we can,
you know, I probably agree with that. And even for yourself, enough times I'll be walking and I might kick something, and you know, that little stubble where you might almost trip. And if I'm in a public place, oh my God, people are laughing at me, people looking at me, I've got eyes on me, all that shit. And I love the fact that with me, I have that thought process for, like, this much, like, maybe 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden I think, so what? They're not going to think about this 10 years from now. I'm not going to think about it 10 years from now. I'm not even going to think about it 2 minutes from now. So now it's just gone.
Yeah. And it's easier to let go. I think resisting, I had this conversation with someone recently, but resisting certain feelings or certain states of being like makes it last longer. Not wanting to be there makes it last longer, but just kind of accepting them and just go, you know what?
Sorry, said it. Resisting states of being makes it last.
No,
longer.
so like for instance, let's say someone's I'm going through something, and then let's say I'm feeling a type of way. Let's say I'm having a feeling that's less pleasant. That's how I'm going to describe it. Let's say I'm having a feeling that's less pleasant, and me going through that feeling or me being in a certain state, and then me resisting being in there, you know, just saying like, kind of like just saying like, come on, like I need to get out of this or whatever, is going to make it last longer.
Okay.
Whereas if I just accepted it and I just went, you know what, like
I like that.
Yeah, it's like just accepted it and just kind of said, you know what, that's cool. I can chill with these feelings for a bit. It makes it go quicker. You know, resistance.
It's like accepting. Accepting your emotion instead of constantly neglecting it. Yeah. Like, you know, what's that 5 stages of something? You got denial and acceptance and bargaining, all that stuff.
5 stages of grief.
Yeah, 5 stages of grief. The last one is acceptance. You have to go through all the other ones. But the last one, also accept it. Like it's like a weight lifted off your shoulder.
Yeah. That's why. And the other ones come in like different orders. They're not really. They can come,
more time. The last one is always acceptance.
Yeah, but apparently, so yeah. I guess the final one will always be acceptance. But apparently, that sequence can always restart. So you might reach acceptance, and then
go back up.
Then you go back from, you know, can get angry again, sad, whatever. But I guess like I'm gonna call it the final acceptance when they're not gonna restart the thing. I think environment plays a big part in that as well. So I was talking to Robin. He was telling me the story about this firefighter who went to therapy after being, you know, basically just saving some people from a crazy fire. Yeah. And one of the questions, I don't know if it was Robin or the therapist that asked him. Oh, I think it was Robin that asked him the question. He was like, "So, you think that you have PTSD because of this event or this fire, whatever, innit?" He says, "Yes. This is the reason why I have PTSD." He asked him, "How many people went into that fire with you?" 5. How many of them are in therapy? No, just me. Yeah. So everyone had the same experience, but you're the only one that came out of it harmed mentally. Why is that? Logic dictates that that's impossible. If 5 people have the same experience, and 5 people all human, the only thing that differentiates them is their mindset. They're all human. You all went through the same training. You all had the same experience with the fire. You all saw the same person die or burn, or same building collapse and whatnot. So the only thing that differentiates you as individuals is your mindset. Yeah. So now you've established that, cool. The reason why I'm here is because my mindset is different to these lot. It may be a bit weaker. Yeah. That's how you solve PTSD. But understanding that this is why I am the way I am. Once you figured out, cool, this is why this is, then I can go and solve it. What I have to do is change my mindset. Listen, the ability to change the mindset and perspective is a superpower. It's a superpower. It's so difficult, but it's amazing when you figure it out. But I think people need to understand what perspective. So you know what? It's interesting we're talking about perspective. I feel like it's a term that's been thrown around, like perspective. But I think people don't really spend time in understanding what that means. What is it really about? How can someone change it? Like, I think people need to look into that a little bit more, because once they can get the ability to change that, I think people can just like achieve way more in life, or just whatever they want to do, really. Because some people, I don't know, some people don't want to achieve. Like, some people are good at that. So there's all kinds of people, you know.
I want to switch the conversation. So I was listening to some of the old pods a couple of nights ago, or nights in a row. Yeah. And I took some notes of stuff that I want to discuss. So I realized my mindset, because obviously I talk on the pod every now and again, and the mindset I have then and the mindset I have now are 2 different people, right? It changes every minute, every day. I have a lot of things, but this is one of my favorite ones. What's the difference between changing and adapting?
The difference between changing and adapting?
Yeah.
In what? That I would need a little bit of context.
So yeah, it's just like, if I don't think context is necessary. Like, I'm trying to think of like context, but like I don't think it's necessary. It's like,
I think context is important though.
Like yeah. If you lived in Lithuania for the next 5 years, and we met again, we came back, I haven't spoken to you for 5 years, and I went to Lithuania. Never been in my life. Have you changed or have you adapted?
I think, you know what, I'm gonna put it this way. Yeah, I think adapting is a small part of change. So I think change can be. There might be loads of different things sitting under the title of change.
So you think change is like over, and then there's
I think I think change is the umbrella, and under that umbrella there's a bunch of different things where adapting to things will be part of it.
So do you think there's bad adapting? Because there's bad change and good change. Do you think there's bad adapting and good adapting?
Yeah, I think so. I think someone can adapt to something, but then can have a bad response, which is not really gonna like work for them.
Isn't adapting just based on survival? It's like if I've lived my whole life in flipping Balamori, and then I come living in East London, I need to adapt. If I don't adapt, I don't survive.
Yeah, I think naturally we have
but this environment's bad, right?
I think naturally as human beings, like we're built to adapt.
Yes, again.
However, but I'll go to the point where like I think some people can adapt in a good way, some people can adapt in a bad way. So, for instance, like you might move from Balamori and you might move to. I don't know why I use that example, but you might move you might move to East London and you have like, or let's use like there's two people, for example, there's person A, person B. They both move. Again, I'm going to go back to the thing that you said earlier. They're both having the same experience. Let's say they're moving from one place to another, but the difference is in mindset, right?
Yeah.
So now, based on what the mindset's like, they're going to adapt differently, right? So let's say person A becomes maybe like a drug addict because they can't handle the move and whatever. But person B goes, you know what, this is a really interesting place. I might even start some kind of community project work or whatever because they're seeing a lot of other stuff happening. Maybe that person's even starting community project work for drug addicts. You know what I'm trying to say? Where person A becomes part of that. So there's really like, it just goes back to the whole thing of like, how have you taken an experience and what story or what narrative are you attaching to that experience?
Oh, do you know, so lit. I was talking to my sister. I think it was yesterday. So, context. We're getting some bathroom redecoration done.
Yeah.
And because it's the council, they're gonna give us the most basic tiling, just the white squares, isn't it? My sister said that she didn't want us to have white square tiling in our bathroom because it gives her memories of like past happenings.
Yeah.
And then we have a conversation, and I think one of the things I told her was we need to learn to change the memory to associate with different things, kind of thing, innit?
Yeah.
Bro, ironically, she's messaged me.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's a matrix. But it's like the memory, the memory's here. The event, the occurrence, the happening is here.
Yeah.
And we get to choose what we associate that memory with. If maybe, so again, it's the firefighter thing. Like some people might be going to bars and telling a story about how I saved 5 people from a burning building and telling how it was a lit experience. But someone else can like go to therapy because of that. So it's like the memory is here and nothing's associated to a memory until we put something, we attach a memory or a thought or an emotion to that event or memory. So it's like, it's like I said, like whatever we attach it to is just our choice, our decision.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to add to that apart from.
I do have one thing. I just want to say this line because I saw this. I don't know who said it. I saw it on Pocket Banks' story. I found it really powerful. I want to give a take on it, and then whatever you want to discuss, we can run that. Success is when luck meets preparation.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I don't know who you got it from, but I really love that statement. Because do you believe in luck?
No, I don't. But just based on that quote, I would say that. So the reason I don't believe in luck, I believe in opportunities. I think I would translate luck to opportunity. So I think there's opportunities out there all the time, but if people are not prepared to take them, which is like luck meets preparation. Yeah. So I think there's opportunities like, like for example, I'm gonna use my classic example of the lottery ticket. Yeah. That's an opportunity. Like for you to have money, let's say like. To have like I don't know how much is the lottery tickets worth. Let's say like if you have £5 in your pocket and you're prepared,
meal before tax.
Yeah, and you're prepared to go in. And you go into the thing. It's just like there's an opportunity to buy one. And it's like you're prepared for it. If you're prepared for it, take a chance. And it's also like it's not always going to work out, but yeah. have to be prepared for it. So I guess it just goes back to like on working on myself or working for people working on themselves. Like where if they work on themselves and they're prepared for stuff, then things will come along the way. Opportunities will come along the way. I think you can call it luck.
Yes, I think luck is just another way of saying probability. I think luck and probability are the same thing. So like, what is the probability of me meeting? You feel me?
But listen,
it's like 1 in a million, right? But it's like I think that's what luck is. Luck is based on probability.
Yeah.
So in that case, if luck is probability, luck is inevitable. You're always going to get lucky, and equally, you're always going to get unlucky.
Yeah.
Which is why I love that statement, because if you know that my luck is going to be inevitable, what do I need to do to get the most out of it? Prepare.
But listen, but this is where I don't believe in luck. So for instance, let's say there's a person who sits at home, a person who's on benefits sits at home, just basically watches Netflix every day.
Yeah.
Let's say the person's
down,
depressed. But listen, that person will never, like, I don't see how. So this is where I say luck doesn't really exist, because if that person does that all the time, day-to-day basis, there's no way they're just gonna go one day just someone they're gonna get 100 million or.
But they
something.
can probably be that's.
There's no but that's what I'm saying. If they're not
that's that one way to prepare for something.
But if they're not doing something, if they're not working on themselves, if they're not out there, they're not doing certain things
in limbo.
Yeah, it's like there's no luck. So luck doesn't really exist. It's like that's just like
luck is just a title for probability.
Yeah. That's I like that you said that.
Luck is a title for. This is a science to make people.
Luck is a title for probability. That sounds like the title for this video.
Potentially, we said a bunch of powerful stuff, so it could be anything. But no, I think luck, like the fairy tale definition of the word luck is BS. Like I understand it more on a logistical or logical perspective, and like probability, and there's one version of everything in this world, and luck is inevitable. Like you're always going to be luck, but it's understanding that luck and being lucky or being unlucky is equal. It's 50-50. It would never be 40-60. It would never be 60-40. It would always be 50-50.
So but this is the thing.
For both,
but this is the thing. But this is when you go, are you unlucky or you're not prepared? Going back to that quote.
No. So
think about it. Are you unlucky or you're just not prepared?
No, because based on of what we said, probability is inevitable. So the luck, or this definition of luck that we've created, is gonna happen. You are going to walk past a lottery ticket, that a winning lottery ticket. Now, are you prepared by being more spatially aware, or like that's gonna happen? That lottery ticket would always be there. Metaphorically, it's always going to be on the floor.
But that's the thing. But then if you walk past it and you don't see it, then
you're always going to walk past it. So it's whether you're prepared or not. That's the thing. Your luck and preparation are two separate things. Is them as together is what creates success.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying people that are not lucky, they're the ones that's not prepared. I'm saying the same thing, just in a different way.
I mean, I wouldn't say not lucky. It's just they're just not prepared.
Yeah,
because those are two separate things to me. But no, yeah.
So where's the not luck coming from? From lack of preparation, right?
Do you think you're unlucky? This is based on what you're preparing for, yeah.
Anyway, cool.
I can spend my whole life preparing for a successful career in videography.
We've got about that was
very interesting. Like I can spend my entire life preparing for something that like preparing to be a bad boy videographer or whatever. But an opportunity may arise for me to be a footballer. Am I unlucky?
The opportunity might arise, but you prepared for it.
No, I didn't prepare for that. I prepared for being.
I know, but I still prepared to take on an opportunity, though.
No, I prepared to
work towards it.
No. Think about like if I spend.
So the opportunity to become something doesn't mean you become something. It's an opportunity to become something. Right? It's an invitation to become something.
Is it unlucky for me? Is it unlucky for me to be prepared for something else when an opportunity that comes to me is something completely separate to what I'm prepared for?
Say that one more time, because now I'm lost.
So like, do you call it being unlucky when the opportunity that's been presented is completely separate to what I'm prepared for? I could be prepared for having a career in filmmaking, but an opportunity that might arise that for me to become a footballer. Does that make me unlucky because I prepared for the wrong thing?
Don't know. That's not what I was talking about anyway.
Well, that's
Anyway, look, so just in a light of today's episode, and this is, do you know what's mad? It's so funny that, so today obviously the guest couldn't make it today because the guest is not feeling well. But that created an opportunity for us to have this conversation, which is once again, it's like it's super powerful.
Do you know why I wanted to start off? I initially wanted to start off this conversation about talk about suppositions, because every time we have something a significant change to the podcast, the guest cancels. The first time we got the Rodecaster Pro, which is I consider a significant difference, the guest cancelled. Now we have a new studio space, the guest cancelled. Next time we have a significant change, I am anticipating.
Yeah, you're predicting a cancellation or something.
Potentially,
but it's not really a bad thing. It's not like
I don't say it's a bad thing. It's
because if anything, like not even sometimes, like most of the time, it creates space. Is going back to the thing. What is that creating space for? It's creating space for this conversation, which is a super powerful conversation, and also just to start wrapping up as well. Just in the light of today's like events and stuff, like, and this is what I was thinking. It's like 2-3 days ago, and it's funny it's happened today. Like I used to think, people not turning up to things that maybe I'm running or things I'm like facilitating or some events I'm putting on. When people used to not turn up to the thing, I used to think that they don't rate me or they don't rate that thing or whatever. That's what I used to think. And I realized, you know what, actually, and obviously today is slightly different. That's not the reason, but then I was thinking, you know what, actually, they don't rate themselves. And that was like a mad realization I've had because
they don't love themselves enough to do something. Yeah, no,
because you know what? Let's say someone's telling you can come to this thing. Yeah, you can come to this. I'm not talking about because you can come to this training space, right? And you can do a 3-day training course and develop yourself and basically just become this fired up individual to go and achieve whatever you want to achieve. And let's say people don't turn up to it. They're not turning up to the thing because they don't rate the thing.
It's just a personal.
They don't rate themselves. They don't want to invest in themselves.
So you almost have, instead of having anger, now I have sympathy.
Yeah, now I'm just like I actually feel sorry for you.
You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't had that epiphany,
that mindset or the perspective to go, you know what, I'm gonna make.
But now
I'm gonna
again,
create
it's that
value
thing
out of this thing.
It's that thing I say where it's like it's our responsibility, because a lot of people don't have the kind of mindsets we do. On a less humble thing, we have amazing mindsets.
So we're sharing it.
We have to. I think it's this year our responsibility to share this mindset. 100%. We need to teach the people of this world to not be a robot. To not be.
But that's the thing. But then again, like we can't force someone to change, right? It's more of an invitation. Like we're putting it out there, and then if people listen to it, go, you know what? Actually, I would like to experiment with that a bit because this sounds quite interesting and see how my life works out. I think that's incredible.
But it's like Mo said, my job is to plant the seed. That's all my job is to do. I don't have to think about anything after that. All I have to do is plant the seed. Once I do my job, I can keep it stepping and go somewhere else. What that seed grows to be, whatever, like we'll find out soon enough. Yeah, or we might not find out. We never find out.
Look, so just to close it, we'll still stick to the question. Yeah, and I don't know what your answer is going to be this time, but. If you was to say one thing to 7.8 billion people listening, what would you say?
I'll say follow up Beyond the Service podcast. Nah, imagine 7.8 billion views, followers or subscribers. Are we lit? No, actually, I want to flip the question on you. You know, like I think my one would be success is when luck meets preparation. I think that's a very powerful thing that people should take in. But I actually want to flip it on you and say, what would you say to 7.8 billion people?
What would I say to them?
You never expected it. No,
you know what? It's a really hard. I know what I want to say, but I don't know what I want to say. Let me put it this way: I know what I'd like to say, but I'd find it really difficult to describe because it's more of a feeling. So, for instance, what I mean by that is like I have a certain feeling within myself that I'd like for people to experience. So I guess which is around like kind of like calm and peace. I'm not always in that state, but I've been in that state more often than I used to be back in the day, and it's just becoming more regular now. And it's a beautiful thing. Just, I guess, like just, you know what? This is what I would say to them. I'm gonna say something different.
Keep going.
Yeah. What I would say to people is, I'll give them a question, which is, when's the last time you've gifted something for yourself? Yeah. When's the last time you've given yourself a gift? And that gift can look like many different things. You know, when's the last time you've gifted yourself with a walk by a river? You know, you've gifted yourself with a piece of reflection. You gifted yourself with the ability to create stuff and become creative and just maybe write some poetry or, I don't know, do some singing, sing in a shower, whatever. When's the last time you gifted yourself with the chance or the opportunity to experience something different and do something different, you know? So I guess that's what I'm going to leave people with. When is the last time you've gifted yourself something?
Just reward yourself regularly.
Yeah.
Don't rely.
But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Share, like, comment, subscribe.
We are never doing this part again.
Share, like, comment.
Nah, don't ignore it.
Nah, but leaving this in. Share, like, comment, subscribe. Spread the word as well. Spread the word.
Yes.
But you know what? Yeah, my typical would be, or just don't do it and see how that works out as well.